Good afternoon and welcome to Blue Valley Today. I'm Ashley Rosenberger.
And I'm Brandy Samuel. On today's show, we will meet a 5th grader from Stilwell who has worked hard to help others.
More than 2,500 years ago, a Greek playwright, Euripides, said that to a father growing old is nothing dear to a daughter. He could have been talking about this family.
At age 8, most kids' minds are worried about the simple things, such as what time is recess or when's mom making dinner. But Isabella Ryder was forced to have a different mindset.
She was diagnosed at 4.5 with medulloblastoma, metastatic brain cancer.
With the Ronald McDonald House standing by her side, along with her family providing endless support, Isabella's experience was made a lot easier.
In the basement, it had like a craft area.
It did?
In a play area.
Is that why you liked it? Because there was arts
And then a little exercise area.
We were told that she could maybe never live independently again. That shows, I might cry talking about that, but that shows how far she has come and how hard she's worked. She was in a position where she may not ever be able to grow.
Izzy taught her family one thing and one thing only, and that was to be thankful for surviving each and every day, because life could take you at any moment.
Now, don't get me wrong, the little things still can get me upset, but you really focus on the big things. You really learn to focus on important things in life, and sometimes you see someone complaining about getting gum on their shoe, or how they're having a bad day about that, or something minor that's just come up, and you just think, oh, that's nothing anymore.
She's made amazing leaps and strides since I started tutoring her when she was a 1st grader. I remember first actually seeing Isabella in the hallways and just seeing her when she was a little kindergartner, and she looked so brave and so, I think she just tugged at all of our heartstrings, and we were just really glad that she's making a very strong recovery.
Like, I'll come in at night and give the kids hugs and kisses, because every day is a blessing, it's a gift. We're thankful for God, we're thankful for friends, we're thankful for family. We're thankful for all kinds of circumstances that Isabella's still here.
For BVTV, this is Swetha Gandhi.
A wise man once said, "All good things must come to an end." This quote definitely applies to Stilwell Elementary School. Let's go to Stilwell to meet Linda Spillman and hear her story. A small town just miles from Overland Park lies a close-knit community. Within this community is a school by the name of Stilwell Elementary, where an extraordinary woman has impacted the lives of many students. Over the past 34 years, this woman has remained a friendly and familiar face around the community.
In 1981, when I got the job as administrative assistant, that's when I met Linda.
Who is this mystery woman, you ask? Although many may know her as Linda, to the students of this very established school, she is known as Nurse Spillman.
Every day, different children come in with sometimes bumps or bruises, or they feel badly and need to be sent home. Every once in a while, we'll have somebody fall hard and fracture a bone, but that's pretty rare.
Although Linda is an expert in her field, she says becoming a school nurse wasn't her first choice.
I really wanted to be a vet.
The biggest thing is she loves horses and all animals.
Despite the fact that Linda didn't become a vet, it was obvious that she was meant to be a caregiver who would change many people's lives.
One of them would come to my office quite often, and she would end up in tears because her mom and dad were getting a divorce. She would come down quite a bit, and we bonded. I had her write her mom a letter, and she contacted me as an adult when she had 2 children of her own, and so I got back in touch with her, and that was really nice. After I saw children come back several times and not be ill, I realized I needed to get a master's degree in counseling, and that's what I did, to help them also with the problems that they had beside their physical problems.
Getting a counseling degree is just one of Linda's many achievements.
Okay, my biggest hobby is horses. I have 6 Arabian horses, and I've shown them and ridden them a lot, and that is my passion.
Although she doesn't show her horses anymore, Nurse Spillman still remembers an unforgettable moment.
We won second place and I won like $1,900. That was probably my most memorable thing.
Although this experience greatly impacted Linda, Stilwell Elementary will also be affected by a major change because after 34 years, Nurse Spillman will be retiring.
We've been friends and co-workers for such a long time, but I think she's ready.
Not only will her retirement be hard on some of the faculty members, but it might be difficult on some of the students as well.
They really like Mrs. Spillman. She helps them out, so it's going to be kind of bittersweet because not only does she take care of the kids, but she takes care of the rest of us too.
The neat thing about nursing is you can find your niche. Wherever you really like to work, you can find that in nursing.
Although this will be Linda's last year at Stilwell Elementary, she still manages to share some words of wisdom.
I would say to young people, enjoy each year because it really is a gift.
So after all of her hard work, what does Linda plan to do with her free time?
I'm going to spend a lot more time with my horses.
For BVTV, this is Brandy Samuel.
Students at Blue River Elementary recently mixed food, fun, and learning. The student had to write a description of how to eat an Oreo cookie in a creative and appropriate way. Here's their teacher and some students to tell us more.
Today was the culmination of their how-to unit, their writing unit of study. And at the end of every unit of study, we have a publishing party. It works well in the morning. All parents, or most of the parents, are able to come. So today they shared their how to eat an Oreo story and one other how-to story that they had gone through the writing process and published.
The hardest part was like thinking about what you want to write about and how you do it. Well, first we make the first draft and then we publish it and kind of make it into an Oreo shape, and then we share it and all stuff. So we do that every time we publish a couple stories.
And to be a writer, you would need to know how to learn how to write the words and be good and make books.
Next is a story about senior Erica Lark from Blue Valley West, who has overcome many difficulties during her sports career.
My ACL is definitely like the toughest just because it's more mental than physical. Like, yeah, you can't do certain things because you had surgery and you have to get back to it, but you have to have a goal and you have to keep it in mind. Like when I tore mine, my goal was to get back and play varsity basketball my freshman year, and I was able to do that. That was my goal. And that, like, I kept that in mind, and it helped me push through all the obstacles that I had to face during that time. It's hard to adapt to a new coaching style, and they were all extremely different, but I got through it, I guess. It's more of like a personal thing that I had to overcome. It was fun. It was just, I felt a lot of the pressure on myself because I was the only senior and everyone was looking up to me, but it was still fun. I enjoyed being with my teammates and having that time with them. It didn't really like hit me that like my senior season was almost over until that moment. And even during senior night when they were like recognizing me, I was more like happy than anything else. It was after the game when I started crying. But it was definitely a memorable moment. I'm gonna remember that for a long time. So basketball, you rely more on your teammates than you do in track, because track it's mostly on your own except for the relays. So I feel like that's actually a better thing for me, because it's either my fault or it's not, and I don't have anyone else to blame it on but myself. Well, I like them both for different reasons. The 400, I rely on myself, and it's more like a personal thing, but then I really like doing the relays too, because it's less pressure on me, because it's more like a team effort, and then I feel like I've just gotten really close with them because I'm running with them all the time, so I like both. I was closer, well, I was really close with my basketball coach this year, more than I have been in the past, just because I was a senior and he expected a lot out of me. But then the track coaches, I've communicated with them a lot too. Like, I'm a lot more comfortable around them, I guess, just because of the atmosphere we're in. It's like a lot more relaxed. I would like to be a physical therapist because I've been through therapy quite a few times, and I just want to stay involved with sports and like help kids out that were in my situation. Like when I tore my ACL, I want to help them recover and get back to what they love doing, and so I just want to make sure I stay involved in sports and whatever I do.
Our next story is about a kid with a lot of heart in his jump of faith.
Here's Drew Garrett with the story.
the Doucettes, just an ordinary family that enjoy the little things in life. But their lives were about to change.
Now you can feel good about yourself. And she called me at work and said, "It's time." And I said, "Well, we'll talk about it when I get home." And she said, "No, it's time. I already booked it."
Well, I've known for a while, so it was kind of a surprise that it was this soon, but I was a little bit worried.
We discovered that I had a congenital birth defect back in 2008, which is a bicuspid aortic valve. And then this year it was time for me to go in and have surgery on that valve because it had caused an aortic aneurysm. I did open heart surgery to put a graft on my aorta.
It was just really important to him to show his mother how much he cared.
Philip took charge of Jump Rope for Heart to help his community raise money for the American Heart Association. He also had his own reason, the reason he started the whole thing.
You know, the thing about him was he didn't flaunt that. He didn't really talk about it a whole lot. I think deep down inside he knew what he was doing and why he was doing it.
He did it for one and one reason only. He did it for his mom.
This year, while I was in the hospital, he and his dad talked about that he really wanted to go out and try to make a difference and get contributions from other people. And so when Gary came back after my surgery, I was in the hospital for a while, he came back down there and told me that Philip had created a website and was sending out emails to people wanting them to donate.
Well, I really just tried to contribute to my mom because she had the surgery. I wanted it to be for her. I wanted to raise the most money in the school.
I was just scared to go because of them. You know, I knew that I needed to do it, but you know, there's always that fear of, you know, what if it doesn't go well, and having small kids, and then being gone for 2 weeks. It's just really hard.
We knew about this for a couple of years. As scary as it was, then it was just over.
Even though his mom's alive and healthy, that hasn't stopped Philip from collecting more contributions and setting a higher goal for next year.
Yeah, I'd like to top my record next year, see if I can beat it.
Really was his way to feel like he could do something.
This is Drew Garrett reporting for BVTV.
Ew, that looks good. In our next story, we'll meet Blue Valley Academy senior Miguel Chavez. Less than 1 year ago, he had dropped out of school and was working at a dead-end job. His future looked bleak, but now that all of that has changed, in his own words, here's Miguel's story.
Well, I'm a senior. I actually am 19 years old because I dropped out of high school 1 year. I decided not to go back as a freshman due to bad influence around me. Teaching-wise, teachers didn't really see a student as for what they really are. Like if you're a troublemaker, they didn't want to understand why you were a troublemaker. They just kind of assumed, oh, they are, so they don't care about school. You know, they didn't really want to help you fix the problem. They just kind of put you aside a little more. So that's why I didn't like it, and I kind of just decided to leave school. The dropping out, first of all, my family, they were calling me lazy afterwards. Oh, I'm just gonna be lazy. I'm gonna, you know, why? Even if you work, you know, they were like, oh, you're just gonna work, and that's kind of being lazy to them because school's a little bit harder than work sometimes. You know, college can be a little harder than working at Burger King. So one of the teachers from Blue Valley, she's like an elementary school teacher. She drove by, and I was telling her the situation, and she actually helped me enroll in Blue Valley. She told me, you know, let's get you back in school. You know, it's not good to drop out, and you know, I knew it, and I kind of knew I wanted to go back to school until she influenced me more to come back. And then from there, like I talked to the counselors along with her, kind of, you know, and I ended up here because they told me about the academy. They call this like a family, a school family, because even like everyone here gets to know each other, like all the students know each other, and you know, so it's pretty cool. And, you know, that influenced me a lot more to come back, and I actually gave it a shot, and I really like the school. I mean, everyone's cool here, and you just give it an opportunity more, so, you know, second chance. Well, I plan to go to JUCO after this, and I want to just get my 2 years of basics out the way, and then find an optometry school, because I want to be an eye doctor. You know, I'm still working. I have the rest of my life to do that, you know, and I could do something a lot better than doing a fast food for the rest of my life, you know, like having kids and a family and a house is not going to pay fast food, and I knew I had a little more in me than just working at a fast food.
This week, we are joined by a high school sophomore who will be our weather woman today. Let's go to Blue Valley West student Madison Schonencase.
Hi guys, currently outside it's about 77 degrees. The skies are very clear with a high of 86 degrees and a low of 67 degrees. Looking out over the forecast, it looks pretty clear and it's going to continue that way throughout the weekend. Currently up in the west, there's some storms forming, but down through the Midwest, it doesn't look like they're going to be coming down here. Also up in the west, it looks like it's about 60 degrees. Down in Las Vegas area, it's about 90 degrees, and in the Midwest, it's about 95 degrees. Throughout the rest of the weekend, it looks like we're going to be in the high 80s, and continuing into next week, we're going to be in the high 70s.
A big competition was held at the CAPS building last week. Fifth graders from throughout the district participated in various competitions that require them to program and build robotic machinery. Here's a couple of the students with more.
It's just for fun, and we've all built robots, or some people are on a team, and we're going to compete against people from other schools.
We're having a competition for robotics. We're trying different challenges against our friends and other people in enrichment.
Today, basically, we're just like showing our robots to the other schools with like things like the maze and SumoBot, just showing off your robot pretty much. Mostly just in school, but some of the information we gathered like outside of school on our computer or something.
Recently, students at Lakewood Elementary School celebrated Dr. Seuss's birthday.
I know, I'm glad you guys
The students participated in a cafe to celebrate Dr. Seuss's birthday. Waitresses delivered books to eager customers who chose items from a menu. Here's what a couple students had to say about the experience.
Well, today we're celebrating Dr. Seuss, and right now, as you can see, we're watching the Lorax ride in the library.
He writes good books for kids. He is a very inspiring author.
Let's go to reporters Dan and Jonathan with the sports.
Last week, Blue Valley West had a swim meet. BVTV's Parker Lewis was there, and here are some of the highlights.
Up is the baseball game between Blue Valley West and Blue Valley North.
On April 24th, Blue Valley West took on Blue Valley North in what would be a defensive struggle. This was the second of their two matchups this season, and Blue Valley West was going into it 10-2. Junior Hunter Kennan starts with a walk. Kennan tries to steal a base and gets thrown out by catcher Tanner Gregg. Leading off the next inning for the West was Brett Fisher, and he will also take a walk. Next a strikeout, and Hunter Kennan will be thrown out at first by Tanner Gregg. Now West, Brett Fisher hits a single out by left field and grabs that first base. Finally at the bottom of the fifth, Kyle Hampton hits a single, allowing Ryan Ralston to score the only run of the game. There would be no more runs scored by either team, and Blue Valley West shut out North 1-0.
Two Blue Valley West seniors signed with their future schools this past month. Alyssa Kelly signed with K-State for track, and Kyle Schlatter signed with Austin Peay University for baseball. Congratulations to all the athletes who signed with colleges this year.
Thank you for watching sports. We'll send you back to Ashley and Brandy right now.
Recently, senior Jacob Parise from Blue Valley West decided to volunteer for the Marine Corps.
Our reporters Dan and Jonathan have the story.
And a family thing, and ever since I was little I've always wanted to.
There are many seniors who decide to take the alternate route of military duty after high school.
What I'm doing is I'm in infantry, but I also am working with communication stuff, so like radio and stuff like that.
However, military professions require mandatory training.
For training, well, before we even go to boot camp, we have PT, which is physical training, 2 or 3 times a week, and then every month we have pool functions, which is where the whole group of like our recruiting station, we all get together and we do something. Then once we go to boot camp, it's 13 weeks long, and that's the main part of boot camp.
Come on, Jake! Not only has boot camp prepared Jacob for the Marines, but he's also a 2-time state placer in wrestling.
He's just a fierce competitor. You know, Jacob, that's probably, you know, his biggest attribute is that he hated to lose and he was mean, you know, and physical, and that's what it takes.
Wrestling has definitely taught me a lot of mental toughness and stuff like that, and the teamwork part. Wrestling is an individual sport, but you learn to work as a team and to help and support your teammates. They're like your brothers throughout the season, and that's a lot to do with the Marine Corps too.
Brotherhood isn't the only thing Jacob hopes to gain from the Marine Corps.
I'm kind of looking to, it'll help me grow up a bit and kind of like bring me to realize the real world and how everything is.
There's no better place to grow up than in the armed forces. For BVTV, this is Dan McCauley and Jonathan Echeverria.
Well, that's our show for today. I'm Ashley Rosenberger.
And I'm Brandy Samuel. Thanks for watching, and tune in next week for our special senior show. See you next time.